Again, and that one would not go. Final 10 seconds. Still on the power play are the Engineers. Turnkova leaving for Chaffee. Turnkova, one-timer, whistled wide, rebound, still loose in front, score! Georgia Bailey beats the clock. She has two as well. The Engineers cash in once again on the power play and put an exclamation point on win number 2. Still loose in front. Hildner a hack and a whack at it. Pulled free by Kaiser. Here's Turnkova shooting. She scores! 2 shots and a goal for Andrea Turnkova, and the Engineers strike first. Top 10 in penalty minutes per game last year in college hockey. Bailey quickly for Turnkova, makes a nice move. Turnkova shoots and she scores! Make that 2 for Andrea Turnkova, and the Engineers double their lead on the power play. It's taken to the line but not out. Helgeson will take the space in front of her. Here is Sophie Helgeson in the corner, center, Skoda, score! A patient play from the defender, Sophie Helgeson, who has 2 assists in her Engineers debut. Meanwhile, it's Morgan Skoda making it 2-0.
Wagner spinning away from pressure. Leaving from Morgan Skoda. Skoda to the line. Here is Natescu with some room to walk in and shoot when she scores! Michelle Natescu's first career goal, and the Engineers have doubled the lead. Just above the circles, Larson will shoot. That one got blocked. Kaiser, backdoor, score! Maddie Papineau, that's a power play goal on the 5-on-3, and the Engineers have cut the lead in half. Allows Kristoff to get free. Here is Nina Kristoff. Backdoor feed, they score! Well, the odd player rush leads to a shot and a goal from Isabel Hardy, and the Engineers have cut the deficit in half. It's 3-2.
Way to the wall as Wagner got knocked down. Larson wheels. Giaffi top of the circle, shoots and she scores! Ayla Chiaffi through a screen. That's a power play goal, and the Engineers are on the board. The race is won by RPI and Tolchinsky to keep possession. Turnkova shoots and she scores! On the delayed penalty through a maze of traffic, Andrea Turnkova, the shot from the point, finds Twine, and finally, somebody's on the board. It's RPI up a goal.
Shots on goal in this one right now, 22-10 in favor of the Raiders as it's knocked back through the neutral zone. Papineau in a race for the puck. She's got the puck. Here's Papineau, score! We are tied as Maddie Papineau scores from it alone. It's 2-all.
Jumping in on the rush is Helgeson. It's a 2-on-1 developing. Sabrina Bedoin sends one in front. They score! Sophie Helgeson past Ali Kelly and in. Her first goal was an Engineer, proves to be the winner, and RPI wins 2-1 in overtime. And good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of RPI. It's time once again for Engineers hockey right here on ESPN Plus. As we welcome you inside the broadcast booth for this evening's contest, alongside former RPI men's hockey head coach Dan Fridgen. I am Dan Bahl. Thanks so much for joining us here on the broadcast tonight. Coach, the Engineers went down to Connecticut yesterday afternoon, dropped a hard-fought contest 2-1 in overtime, but their non-conference schedule continues tonight. Sacred Heart in town.
Yes, it's a real good opportunity for Brian Vines and his team. From a team perspective, you get to execute or defend a little differently, and from a personal perspective, individual perspective as a player, you get to change some things as well and hopefully come out with a victory here at home.
Offense has been at a bit of a premium for the Engineers this season. 5 goals in 3 games thus far, 3 of them coming on the power play. It's going to be a challenge for them to beat junior netminder Jillian Petrino, who picked up the win yesterday afternoon, gave up just 1 goal, made 33 saves in her season debut. She will battle Reese Keating once again, who picked up the loss yesterday afternoon, just 2 goals against, and she made 21 saves. We're ready to go for our opening face-off here at Houston Fieldhouse on a Saturday evening in the Capital Region. Thanks so much for being with us. The Engineers in possession first as they start their top line, and that is Natalie Tolchinsky centering Maddie Papineau and Ellie Kaiser. Second pairing on defense of Taylor Larson and Sophia Jones, with Keating in the cage to our right, as the Engineers go from right to left across your screen here in the opening 20. That one will wobble down. Icing is negated. The Pioneers of Sacred Heart began their top line as well. Sammy Bowlby centering Kate Helgeson and Paige McNeil. Olivia LaRoche and Savannah Popick on defense. The other way come the Pios into the offensive end with possession for the first time. We send it down ringside. We're joined by one of the newest members of the Engineers. That is Sophie Helgeson. Sophie, thanks so much for joining us. How's it been playing for the Engineers through 40 minutes today?
It's been awesome. It's a privilege to play for this team. I'm having a lot of fun, and I think our team is too.
So you came from the University of Wisconsin. Was there any thought in your mind to join your sister at Sacred Heart?
There was. A little bit of push from the relatives and friends. I think they would have liked to see that, but in the end, we still get to play against each other, so that's pretty special too.
Sophie, you've seen a lot of great hockey during your career. Your Engineers team up too. What's been working for your group so far today?
The classic, just getting pucks in deep and forechecking hard and getting those battles in, and just crashing the net hard. A lot of garbage goals I think we can score. So.
Fair enough. Well, Sophie, thank you so much for the time again. Welcome to Troy, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks so much.
That is Sophie Helgeson joining us here on ESPN+. 2-0, RPI leading Sacred Heart. Back with third period action in just a few moments, so stay with us. You're watching Engineers Hockey on ESPN+. Second period about to begin here at Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of RPI. We are back here on ESPN+, and this is Engineers Hockey. The score after 20 minutes, the Engineers up by a goal on an even strength tally from defender Andrea Trinkova, assisted by Ellie Kaiser and Meg Hildner. That goal came at 5:46 of the first period, and that is our score through 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal, 8-2 in favor of the Engineers. Reese Keating made both of the saves that she was asked to make. Meanwhile, Brooke Larange, she was 7 of 8 in the opening 20. Alongside Dan Frigid, Dan Bahl with you. Thanks so much for being with us here on this Saturday afternoon. Yesterday, Coach, the Engineers were outshot 10-2 in the opening period of play. So first period from yesterday to today certainly seemed much better.
Yeah, I thought it was a much better period than they had yesterday. They came out a lot stronger, able to get that first goal to go ahead. And you know what? Both teams in this regard are playing very disciplined hockey. So it's good to see there hasn't been a penalty to this point. And hopefully I didn't jinx it.
Well, there you go. We'll keep an eye out for that one for sure. But something else that Brian Vines touched on yesterday when we talked to him after the first period was the Engineers needing to find a solution at the center ice dot for winning faceoffs. They won 10 of 13 draws in the first period, and they have control there as Nia Phillip backhands it in on Brooke Larange. Bedoin, Hamilton, and Phillip, the line on offense for the Engineers, with Larson and Jones on defense and Keating in the cage to our left. Sent through the neutral zone, nobody home, allowing for the scoop up by Charlotte Sontag. Sontag, Chadwick, and Crovo on offense. Holy Cross had 6 skaters on the ice there for a moment, allowing for the escape by Molly Hamilton, who was muscled off the puck there by Min, but it's kept in at the line by Bedoin. Hamilton back behind the net, centers a pass in front, nobody home. Trinkova corrals the puck and shoots one off the glove of Larange. Rebound bunted into the corner by Livingstone. Bedoin couldn't find the puck in her skates, allowing for the escape by Min. Near side Crovo at the end of her shift, just over a minute into the second period. She will send the rest of the way.
That was a real good save by Larange there on Trinkova. She had that label for the top shelf.
Trinkova was bidding for her second goal, I should say, in this game, as she is in a battle for possession there with Morrow. Edged off the puck by the assistant captain here for these Crusaders. Shot from the near side point from Hope goes wide. Scooped up by Tolchinsky, backhand feed towards Calla Woodcroft, then towards Wensley, but she had to stop and adjust to that puck and was a step behind it. Near side wall, Aslan. Poked free by Tolchinsky and cleared out to center. Knocked along there by Woodcroft. She'll head to the near corner. Kenzie Hope popped it around her. Lewis. Outlet feed as Aslan popped it through Maddie Papineau's legs, but she was at the end of her shift. Holy Cross opened their season with 4 straight games against ECAC opponents last year. 2 against Union, 2 against Brown. All 4 games were 1-goal games. All 4 games went to overtime. Holy Cross ended up 1-3 in those games. They won a 1-goal game yesterday, which was something they saw often last year. Of the 8 wins that they had a season ago, 5 of them were 1-goal victories, including the first 3 of the season last year. Shot from Cantillon, handled by Keating. Overall, they were 5-10 in 1-goal games last year. They're trailing by just a goal here in this one. Top of the circles, that shot goes high. Defended well by the Engineers as Larson turns away from the pressuring defender Cantillon. It's forced from corner to corner. Just over 3 minutes into our second period, 1-0 RPI. Holy Cross, their first extended zone time of the period. That one's blocked back out to center off the skate of Ellie Kaiser. Kaiser is able to get by a drive and a save. Rebound, it would not sit for the oncoming Audrey McCutcheon on that rebound.
Yeah, McCutcheon was just a little too eager there. Kind of got ahead of the play, and that puck squirted right on by her.
Deflected into the corner by Morgan Skoda. Far side, Bailey upends the defender. Forced in front, and that one would not go. A good quick pass there from Georgia Bailey, looking towards McCutcheon again, who, speaking of which, is in possession. Turnkova forced along the wall. She's surrounded by 3 purple sweaters. It's cleared to the line. A wobbling puck is kept in. McCutcheon had it but lost it. Scooped up along the far side wall. Morgan Skoda, a backhander in front. That one would not go. It got knocked down right on top of the blue paint. Scooped up in the neutral zone by Sontag, but broken up quickly. Outlet feed, Bailey. Here is Georgia Bailey stepping in, cuts to the middle. Didn't get the shot away. A good poke check late as she tried to go from backhand to forehand. One-timer coming there, and a save by Larange, the rebound, and the netminder for the Crusaders will clamp down on that one with 15:29 to go in the second period, and a round of applause from the Engineers faithful.
Yeah, good opportunities there for RPI. They're moving the puck well in the offensive zone, getting some good shots off. A couple of shots just going a little bit wide. They need to put those on net and make the goaltender play it.
Shots on goal now are 13-2 as we take another look at that one-time attempt that led to the save, the whistle, and the face-off, which is controlled by RPI. Shots on goal now 13-3 in favor of the Red through a period and change as Bedoin tried to force a pass in front. Was defended well there by Min. 3 Engineers low of the goal line. However, it's Holy Cross that grabs possession in their own end. Alexia Morrow, a backhand pass, goes behind Lane Lewis, allowing for the takeaway. Bedoin centers a pass, was looking for either of her wingers. That was Toy and Phillip. Went 0 for 2 in that capacity, and Holy Cross will skate it the other way.
Yeah, in that situation, Toy or Phillip has to drive that net to force the D to back up a little bit.
Kept in by Fortunato. It's poke checked away from her by Kylie Toy. Toy was defended by Cantillon, and she was at the end of her shift anyway, so she chose to dump the puck in. Here is Turnkova. Outlet feed did connect with Charlotte Wensley enough to negate any icing. Scooped up by Mackenzie King. King as far as the waiting Turnkova, who will force it back out to center, and Fortunato will flip it high up in the air in on Keating, who will make the blocker save. Tolchinsky had it but lost it. Puck just would not sit right for the graduate transfer. Larson just onto the ice at center, sends it as far as Caitlin Sullivan on defense. Back and forth we go through the neutral zone over the last few minutes. Tolchinsky centers for Ellie Kaiser, who tried to flip it around the waiting Caitlin Sullivan, but her partner Hannah Deck was waiting there. Chadwick is upended in a collision with Ayla Chaffee, and the puck is forced into the corner. Sontag as far as Sullivan, who is tied up along the end wall by Meg Hildner. Sullivan again, blocked down by Kaiser. Work to the line, Maddie Papineau. They'll battle in the corner once again. Kaiser to the line for Larson. This way, Papineau. She will shoot one, blocked down in front. Loose right at the bottom of the circles. Chaffee was tied up. And Holy Cross will clear. Flipped into the corner as RPI plays game number 2 of an 8-game stretch of non-conference to start the year. McKay will shoot. That one's blocked. Skoda scoops it up and shoots one, and a save by Larange. She will hang on as the Engineers have 8 straight and 12 overall in non-conference, including the Mayor's Cup later on at the beginning of 2025, as we take a look at that chance from Morgan Skoda in the save by Larange, her 13th of the afternoon.
She's just getting it on goal there. Really didn't have much to shoot at as Larange was out cutting down the angle.
She'll play on her offhand here on this line. That was in possession for the moment, but it's taken away by Morrow. Kenzie Hope only as far as Turnkova. Scooped along there by McCutcheon. Georgia Bailey tried to work it back to the line. Her pass got deflected by Lewis. Morrow centers. Here is Lewis. Tried to leave back for one of her line mates. Turned over there by McCutcheon. Forced in front. Saved by Keating. And the rebound is popped to the near corner. Kept in. Here's Hope shooting. Blocked. Into the waiting defender, Andrea Trinkova, who's able to clear the zone herself. And as is typical, she will go in on her own forecheck as the whistle will blow. A stoppage with 11:41 to go.
Today's fan of the game.
And we'll reset things.
20, row C, seat number 5, Flower Spike Pisha, the fan of the game.
I think Holy Cross is getting a penalty for too many women on the ice. That faceoff will come inside in the offensive zone for RPI. I was just thinking it'll be interesting to see here as this game progresses what these players will have in the tank, since this will be their first 2-game weekend of the season.
It's a great point, as Stan Frigid nailed it. Too many players on the ice, and Manny Gendron will be the player who serves the penalty. So we went almost a full half game after 11 total penalties in yesterday's game. No entries in that column on the score sheet up until now. Engineers were 1 for 3 on their power play in yesterday's game, as 4 white sweaters on the near side wall. Papineau will send it around the end wall. Larson from her spot on the point, kicks it for Kaiser. Ellie Kaiser steps in, will shoot one, and she snapped it high. Rebound right to Papineau, whiffed on the one-time attempt, but RPI maintains possession. Larson for Kaiser, which works it quickly across. Pass towards Papineau was defended well by Leo. Knocked up the near side wall as Fortunato will clear out to the far blue line where Taylor Larson was waiting. RPI on their power play last year, 16 of 108, 14.8%. 30th best in college hockey. This unit was feeding Ellie Kaiser, the player who just passed the puck, for one-timers on her offhand in yesterday's game. They'll regroup things as we're over a minute into the power play. A change in power play unit underway for Brian Vines. Meanwhile, Holy Cross will clear and get a full sail change of their penalty killers. The kill for Holy Cross last year, 94 of 123, 76.4%. And that was top 10 in penalty minutes per game last year in college hockey. Bailey quickly for Turnkova, makes a nice move. Turnkova shoots and she scores! Make that 2 for Andrea Turnkova, and the Engineers double their lead on the power play.
Well, she plays with such poise when she has the puck. She just takes her time. She fakes to take that player out of the shooting lane right here, and then she rockets one top shelf. The goaltender is still looking for it. Larange, she looked behind her, but what a great shot. Little bit of traffic right in front of the net for the time being, and just a great shot there by Turnkova.
Great moving screen there by Sabrina Bedoin, who is the one who was moving right across the top of the blue paint. But that's all skill there from Andrea Turnkova. 5 goals last year for the now sophomore. She's already got 2 in as many games. Turnkova had just 1 power play goal last year as well, so ties that tally already. Engineers in the lead by 2. They held 1 lead yesterday. It was 2-1. Shot from Jones, deflected by Phillip, missed the near side post.
Well, it's pretty special to go from getting no shots in a game to getting the first 2 goals of a game.
She settled in quite nicely here in game 2, and you know, things were, obviously it was the first game of the season, so you have to take, or the first regular season game of the season, so you know, take it with a grain of salt, but you're also dealing with a unit that had 7 defenders available last weekend against Windsor, down to 5. And only 3, I think, that played games last year. So things were just a little bit out of sorts. And Turnkova was trying to do a lot in yesterday's game. But this is what we saw last year and are looking to see more of here in this year.
Well, we had mentioned at the beginning that, you know, we're looking for players to step up after losing last night's game, and Turnkova has certainly done that so far in this game today.
Georgia Bailey, Ayla Chaffee, the assists on that goal. So Chaffee has 3 points on the 4 goals that the Engineers have scored this weekend. And that sophomore class has been responsible for a lot of the scoring so far, as Hildner and Kaiser got the assists on Turnkova's first goal. And that power play unit, not for nothing, is responsible for both of the power play goals that the Engineers have scored so far this season, and they're now 2 for 4 on the player advantage as 2 Crusaders run headlong into each other. Hildner forced in front there for Kaiser, but a good stick lift by Sullivan. Knocked down at the line by Larson. Papineau back for Larson, 1-timer and a save with the glove by Brooke Larange with 7:47 to go here in the second period. 2 goals for the Engineers, both by Andrea Turnkova. We will step aside and be back with more right after this. You're watching Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.